something I haven't actually shared, which I know existed. I actually just haven't put into words before. And it completely plays into who I became, who I was, what I moved through, who I am now, what I'm currently moving through, what I help my clients move through. It was an awareness that I was wrong. I was always aware inside of me that what people were saying to me or how they were responding to me was different than how I felt. And then slowly but surely it became what I felt because I took it on, which also ties into what I shared about me feeling constantly misunderstood, like I was speaking alien. I'll talk more to that later. What I'm coming in here to share for the first time is I remember the point where I was told a couple places in the same year. I was in 5th grade, 10, because I have an August birthday, so I was always one age through every school year. I was in 5th grade, and in 2 separate instances, it was brought to my attention that my clothes weren't right. I was already clearly born a very conscious, aware, empathic, intuitive human, and I'd always felt like I had to fit in. I had to figure out how to say things in a way that would fit in or keep me safe or blend or belong with what they wanted to hear or say or feel. So, a survival thing. And one of my really closest friends, who I still love and adore, always did, made a comment on my jeans, and that was the start of it. They were these little jeans. I was teeny tiny, 10. Hi. We just walked by a sweet little girl. I was teeny tiny, and jeans that fit me had like really big elastic because they had to fit around my waist. And they were, I think, the only reason I remember the brand is because of what my friend's mom said. So the brand was Super Denim. I don't know where we got them. Maybe we got them from Target or whatever, right? They were jeans. They fit me. I wore them all the time. She's like, Super Denim, right? Very harmless. Very harmless. Actually kind of funny. I know that I kind of lightly laughed because I wanted to make them feel comfortable with their, funny joke. And it was constant after that. And I was aware that like all of a sudden I was aware of my clothes when I wasn't aware of my clothes, right? I'm getting emotional actually. And then that same year in school, so the school I went to had uniforms. Lower school uniforms, middle school uniforms were different. High school had, pretty strict dress code. 5th grade was the first year of middle school uniforms. And then of course, if you had uniforms at school, there were dress down days, right? Where you wore not uniform clothes. It was rare and it happened. And so there was one day that same year that I wore my jeans to school on dress down day. And this girl named Sarah was being helpful, right? And she said to me, you're not going to want to wear those. You want to get Levi's and you want to get the red tag and you want to get these. Don't wear those anymore. And what's interesting, I have to scratch my face, excuse me. What's interesting is that it was like right at the same time. And again, I was already the hyper-conscious, very aware child. And so I realized that my survival and my safety, and then we can circle in a back door, for people to not abandon me, for me to try to fit in, I never fit in. I always fit out, right? For me to try to fit in or blend, or it's like pack survival, almost tribe survival, like life, right? I had to get different clothes, get different jeans, dress a certain way because then I would belong. And that just fed into, again, I'm getting a little emotional, that also fed into my experience, which I still sometimes have today, yet I've shifted and let stuff come up to move through and release. I've done so much changing. I'm like, 27 different people past that little girl who was 10. I know that I know that this fed into me trying to also not only blend with clothes, it supported, it validated that I needed to blend with how I talked, what I thought, it outsourced everything. And I then, even though I always knew, I was like, this just doesn't feel right. From like, as far back as I can remember things very clearly from about the age of 2. And all the way back then, I was like, this is like, what is this? And I would blend because safety and survival. And if this is what I need to do, I need to figure out how to be like this, right? So anyway, long story short, these kind of experiences flow into eating disorders, disordered eating, emotional eating, stress eating, our approach and relationships with food, our approach and relationships with relationships, relationship toxicity, codependence, exercising or not exercising, relationship with exercise. I've got some clients who like avoid it because of their ex. Now we can look in their childhood and it's there too, right? Is it always childhood to blame? Can also be past lives, can also be current situations, right? This flows into, can you be, alone with your own thoughts, and can you also be in blanketation, right? Not meditation with all the thoughts, thinkitation, channeltation. Can you be blank and let yourself be, right? It flows into everything. It flows into your stress level. You can have your same full schedule, your same daily schedule, mom taxi, dad taxi, plus work, plus a business you're building, plus 2 dog walks a day. You can have everything and live a completely different way inside of it. You can. I've done it. I'm doing it. My clients are doing it. They're like, I came to you for this emotional and physical strengthening, and I had no idea what I was to become, right? 4 years later, 2 years later, 5 years later, it's available, and I'm here to tell you that.